Yeah, hi everyone. So in the last class, so in the first class, we have seen the introduction, that is what is C language, what are programs, how we write program, and what are the steps required to write a program, that is C program development steps. And then we have seen a very basic program like that prints hi on the screen. And in the last class, we have seen a program where we have declared a variable of type integer. So a variable, nothing but the name given to data. Name given to data value is called variable. So whatever values you are using in the program, for that values, you need to provide a name. So that name is called as variable. So variable, a proper definition for variable is variable can be defined as the name given to memory location where the data value is stored. So it's actually the name of memory location. But in simple, we can say it is a data identifier. To identify data, we give or we use the variable names. So it's a data name or data identifier. To identify this data value, we name it. We provide an identifier, which is nothing but variable. And what type of data can be held in this variable? We write it using a data type. So there are different data types in C programming provided by C programming. So int is one of the data types. Int is for integers, that is whole numbers which do not contain decimal point. So int variable name equal to 90. And printf, whenever we are using printf, we need to include this stdio.h, standard input output header file. So this is included in order to use this printf function, because this printf function is a predefined function which will be present in stdio.h. So whatever present in double quotations, within double quotations, that is printed on the output screen. So whatever we write in double quotations is text type of data, that is string, collection of letters. But in collection of letters, in that string, in that text, if you want to combine some other type of data also, like numeric data, it can be int, float, or character, then you need to use a format specifier. If you want to write a variable, if you want to mix or combine or write variable within this string, then that variable, whatever is the type of that variable, that type format specifier you will be using within the string. Directly variable you will not write here. This variable name directly here you cannot write. It will be as it is printed. And if you want to get value from memory here, then you need to mention the format specifier of that memory type. So here percentile D is for integer type. It is called format specifier. What type of data you are going to combine within the string, it will define that, it will specify that format. So percentile D is for integers, and what must be substituted in this place, that is written after this comma. So after this comma, I wrote ID variable name. So this ID will be printed in this place. So value of ID which you get from memory, ID is the name of memory as I said. So from that memory, it will get you the value which is stored in that memory, that is 90. So ID is 90 will be printed on output screen. Then we have seen the basic terminology like what is token. So token nothing but small unit that builds C program. All this will come under tokens: identifier, variable, operator, separator, keywords, constants. So identifiers nothing but they are the name given to identify something. It can be name of data value, it can be name of function, it can be name of array, or to identify anything, whatever name we are giving, the user defined names to identify something we give, those are called identifiers. Then variables, as I said, which hold the data values, and operators, the symbols which are used to perform operation on data used in program. So operators are symbols which are used to perform operation on data. Separators that separate, it can separate the data values, like comma is used to separate the variable names, and semicolon is used to separate the statements, curly bracket used to separate blocks, and parenthesis used to separate the name of function from parameters or in different ways, and brackets like square bracket, parenthesis, curly bracket, semicolon, comma, whatever we are using for separating things will come under separators. Then keywords. Keywords are predefined words which cannot be modified by user. These are predefined, they are present with compiler. We cannot modify the spelling or meaning of keyword. It will be having a already defined meaning, some predefined meaning and spelling, which cannot be modified by user, that is programmer. Constants, fixed values. So like how we declare variable, like that only we can declare constant values also in program, which cannot be modified throughout program. Fixed values, after declaration, it cannot be changed. The same value has to be used throughout program. Literals are nothing but the right hand side values which we assign to LHS, the variables or constants. Those are called literals. It can be of different data types again. Then we have the comments for describing code. For providing description to your program, we use comments. And single line comment and multiple line comments we have in C programming. Single line will be commenting up to one line only. So it will comment only up to one line. And if you write something in next line, it is not commented when you are using single line comment. It starts with two slashes, and this will be this comment will be written in between slash star and star slash. Comments are not code and they are not executed, and compiler ignores it. Then keywords, as I said, predefined words cannot be modified. There are 32 keywords in C programming. These are some of the examples. Data types also predefined words. They are also keywords which cannot be modified by user, and they are used to define what type of data is used in program. And type, this data type, we can use for defining what type of data can be stored in variable, like what data can be held in variable. And we can also use the data type in place of return type. So next is operators. Operators, as I said, are symbols which we use for performing operation on data. So different categories of operators we have in C programming, which we will be seeing in detail each category later in classes. So we have like arithmetic operators which perform arithmetic operations, assignment operator for assigning the RHS to LHS, comparison operators for comparing the RHS and LHS values. And we have logical operators for performing logical operations like and or not. We have bitwise operators which will perform operation on bits on binary data and give the result in decimal again. And we also have unary operator that performs operation on single variable. We have ternary operator which contains three expressions, and it is also called conditional operator as it contains a condition. So different categories of operators we have, each will be in detail we will be seeing later. So variable, again, name given to memory location where data value is stored. And we have again different types of variables which we will cover later. Like we have local variable, we have global variable. So how to use local and global variable, we will be seeing when we cover the variable topic. Then we also have function, we have also seen function. So it is nothing but set of executable statements written as module, which is given a name, and whenever we want to perform some specific task, we will write that logic and like a function. So today we will see some programs, like theoretically I will explain some programs and some will do practically also. Like already we have seen how to start a C program. So C program, whenever we want to write, the basic format for C program is, first line we will be writing the preprocessor directive, which is processed before the program is executed. So first line will be always preprocessor directive. Then we will be having void main function. So this is the function which is executed by compiler. This is a function which is searched by compiler when you run the program. So within this function, whatever statements you write, only that gets executed. So this is starting point of execution. It is a main function which is starting point of execution. Then we start the main function with curly bracket, opening curly bracket, end the main function with closing curly bracket. So this is the basic format of C program. Like first preprocessor directive, why we are writing is because it contains the basic or the standard output input functions, like this stdio.h is header file, and this header file is present in C library, C standard library. So this stdio.h, it is the name of header file which is present in standard library, and what it contains is the standard output input and output functions, IO. These are, it is like standard input output, and .h is the extension of header files. So all the header files which are present in C library will be having extension .h. So standard input output functions it will contain. So these are predefined functions. Already the definition is present. Already they are defined and kept in this library. So these are predefined functions, and the functions are printf and scanf. So whenever we write a function name, anywhere whenever you are using the function name, always beside the function name, you will be writing this parenthesis compulsory. So parenthesis always written beside the function name. So printf and scanf are output and input functions. So I'll write this. So input and output functions respectively. So scanf is input function, printf is output function. So input function, what it will do, whatever user input we are giving, whatever user is entering the data, that is scanned and taken as input into the program by scanf. Whereas output, it will print on the output screen, that is on console. The output screen is also called as console. So here printf prints on output screen. Printf will print on output screen, which is also called console. And scanf scans the user input. It scans the user input, and that is, it takes the user input in program. From input devices, like it can be keyboard or any input device, from standard input devices, it will be taking the user input into the program. So scanf scans the user input and takes it into the program. So whatever user enters the data, that is scanned using scanf printf. So whenever you are writing the function name, write this parenthesis always, so that we can understand that these are functions. So stdio.h, it is the header file. Printf scanf present in this header file. And this is called preprocessor directive. Include is one of the preprocessor directive using which you can include a header file into the C program. So here hash include means whatever lines are starting with hash are called preprocessor directives. So preprocessor directive to include file in C program. So hash include, it is a preprocessor directive to include header file or other files in program. So this is one thing. Then stdio.h, then printf scanf present within stdio.h. Then we have the void main function. So void main. Main is the function. So void here is return type. It is return type of main function. So when return type is void, it means function is not returning any result. Yes, there are many, but that will be covered in course, not in the demo. So you have define, hash define, you have many, there are many. So in course we will be covering. It is a separate topic. Okay. So whichever preprocessor directives means whichever word before any statement, if we are writing this hash symbol, that will be preprocessor directive. Not just include, we have others also, which we will be seeing in preprocessor directives, a topic you have in the syllabus. So we will be covering in that all the things. So here we are using just include, which is used for including the things and including files. So using include, we are including the stdio.h, and void here is return type, which we can also call it as result type. What result the function is returning after main. So void is return type of main function. Here I'll give a note. Return type is the result type which is returned by function after execution of statements. So whatever statements the function contains, after execution of those statements, if any return type we are mentioning other than void, we can have data types written in place of void. So void means it will not return anything. When return type is void, it means no return type we are using. No return type is used. So when return type is void, it means no return type is used, and function will not return any result when it is void. But if you are mentioning in place of void int or any other data type in any function, then that type of result you have to, the function has to return using return keyword. So return type is result type, which is returned by function after execution of statements. And when return type is void, it returns nothing. Which result type which is returned using return keyword. So we use return keyword to return the results. So just small examples we'll see today just to get an idea of that. So void main is the function, void is return type, whereas main here, main is the default name of function, and this function must be present in all C programs. In all C programs, searches for main function whenever we run the program, run or execute the program. So the function must be present in all C programs because compiler searches for main function whenever we run the program, and whatever lines or statements um, and whatever statements present in main are executed by compiler, are compiled and then executed by compiler. So main is the function which is starting point of execution. So we also call it main as starting point of execution. Point of execution. Then we have the main starts with opening curly bracket, and main starts with curly bracket. So not main definition, the definition of main, definition of main starts with curly bracket and ends with closing curly bracket. So whatever in curly bracket present within that curly bracket are block of statements which are executed by compiler. So here we have written just preprocessor directive, void main, opening of bracket, closing of bracket. If I write here printf, so like we have written welcome in the starting. So here so this will print, it prints welcome on output screen. So these are what I'm writing here to describe program are called comments here. These are comments and are not executed by compiler. Compiler will ignore it. Just for describing the program, I'm writing this comments. So 0 is also coming under integer. So when we write, we can write here int also. If you want, you can write int also. But void, if you are writing int, then here you will be writing return 0. So in C programming, main function is by default, it has void as the return type. But in C++, you will be writing here int compulsory. So here also sometimes in some places on internet, you will find here int main. So whenever we write int, the main is expected to return some result of type integer. So at that time, this return 0 will mark the ending of main. So whenever you write return keyword, it marks the ending of any function, not just main, but any function. If it is containing return, it marks the ending of that function. But if you are mentioning here any data type, that type of result, this return keyword can return. So after whatever statements you are writing here, if they are executed, after that, it will return some result which can be held again in a variable and used in program somewhere according to requirement. So main, it returns 0, because if it is returning some result also, it will not be used anywhere, because this is the main function which is executed by compiler. So just return 0 will mark the ending of main if we are using here int. And okay, so this is a very simple program which already we have seen. And next, so printf prints a string present in double quotations. Printf prints string, when we say, it is nothing but collection of letters, prints string. And also using format specifiers, we can print format specifiers in string. We can print different types of data, variable values or data. So printf will print the string that is present in the double quotations. But in case if you want to combine any variable value, then you can use format specifier. Like example, just I'm giving here. Printf, if you want to print a string like, just I'm giving this. But if you want to print uh, some number also along with this, so in place of %id, we will be writing id. Now, where is this id? We should declare like this. So whatever are the keywords, the predefined words will contain all the lowercase letters in C programming. So it should be in lowercase. So ID here is the variable which we are combining within this string. So it will be printed in place of this %d. So 90 will be the value which is printed in place of %d. So it will print like, the output will be like, here in place of %d, 90 will be printed. So like this. And No, C language will compile in line by line means interpreting. Internally that interpretation happens, but it compiles one, not line by line, complete code. So line by line happens in Python and in some cases. So, so here the complete program at a time you will be compiling and running. Okay, so like this printf is used. You can print a string or to print a variable, you can do like this. And scanf used to take user input. Now, how to take user input is, again, you will be using the format specifiers. So format specifiers used to scan different types of data on the output screen, like what type of, so and it's scanned and assigned to address of variable. So we will be using a format specifier, and using that format specifier, it will scan the user input and then assigns it to the variable. Now scanf, suppose I want to take ID value from user. I have declared ID int ID, but not given value to this ID. I can ask the user using printf to enter ID. Like this, I can give a message. Then when the user enters using scanf, I can, we need a format specifier, and using this format specifier, integer is scanned, because integer we are expecting the ID. So if any other data type the user is entering, it will create an error. It will scan or it will search for an integer on the output screen. And if it is integer, it will take in the program and it will assign to address of ID. So this AND operator, this is AND symbol, is called, or it is read as address of operator. So address of ID. So using the format specifier %d, which is for integers, we are scanning the integer data and assigning the value, integer value to this ID variable, that is address of ID. So integer is scanned, assigned to address of ID, and then we can print or use ID in our program. So if I write again, ID is %d and then ID, then it will print ID is whatever the user has entered. If you use only ID. No, if you use only ID, it will give you error. It will not assign it to ID. So address of ID means to that memory it will keep or store the data in that memory. It will go to memory and assign the data. So scanf, the syntax, the rule is itself like for scanf, format specify compulsory, we need to use that. Here you will be writing in the double quotations the format specifier. Format specifier for different data types, it will be different. So format specifiers, and here and variable name. You can scan single variable or single value or multiple by separating with comma. So here format specifier, single %d or multiple %ds also you can write. If you want to scan, suppose two IDs, So ID and ID1. Then like this you can write. Multiple values also you can scan. So scanf for scanning the user input. For scanning user input, we use the scanf. So that is about very basic C program things. So here example. Now simple programs we'll see like so here the simple program first to print things like void main I'm writing. So printf I'm writing welcome. Now again if I write printf, so here two strings I have taken. Now, if I compile, zero errors warnings, and then if I run welcome and then nice to meet you in same line I got. So if I give here space, I will get in same line but with space. Welcome and nice to meet you. If you want to get it in new line, slash n you need to write. It is called escape sequence for which you have again separate topic. Slash n will be moving the cursor to new line. It will whenever after printing, whenever slash n comes, it will move the cursor to new line. So when we write slash n, it will move the cursor after welcome. It is moving the cursor to new line. And because we have given space here, it is taking space again and printing the nice to meet you string. So like this, we can move the output to new line. So if you are for today, this is example 1 where we are printing the output in different lines. Here you can just skip this space. So if I remove the space, I get like this. This is the output. Then second example, will take for like this welcome. I'll keep as it is. Now here I will declare ID. I will not give any value. I will just ask the user to enter ID. So when the user enters ID, I'm going to print it. So whatever we want, I can here write like this. So we are getting ID from the ID location. So here your ID is, we need to scan it before printing. We don't have the ID value. So whatever the user is entering, that is scanned using scanf. And because the integer value, it is expecting %id format specifier, and it should be kept in ID, address of ID, like this. So here enter ID and then So it will give you welcome, enter ID. If I give 25, your ID is 25. So this is output and this is the program. So this is example 2. Now next, if you want multiple values like ID1 I'm taking and ID2. So enter two IDs. You can enter two IDs at a time, enter two values at a time. You can scan in single line only if you want, or you can use two lines to scan it also. I'm scanning here or taking the user input in single line, and then you can print also in a single line. ID1 is something, and then ID2 is again %id. In the first place, ID1 will be substituted. In the second place, ID2. So your ID1 is first ID1 value. ID2 is second ID2 value will be printed. Yes. So every time you make a change to program, you should compile the program. Otherwise, previous output only will come. It will not change internally the program source code. So whenever we are changing, the object file will be creating the executable file. So object file will not change every time. We should uh, like uh, so whenever we run this program, object file will be created. There will be two files which will be stored, like here file open. So here you can see two files are there. One is C source file, one is application file. So this application file is the file which contains this machine code. So this file will not get generated unless and until you compile. So if you're doing changes here in the source file, if you compile only, that will be affected. The second file will be affected. If you're not compiling, this second file will not get affected. So every time you make a change to program, you should compile it. Then only that second file will be getting the change. So here, taking two IDs from the user, scanning it, assigning to address of ID1 and address of ID2, and printing the same. So first compile, then run. So first it will print welcome like here, and then enter two IDs. We got a message. Now because here single quotation again I gave, it is giving two single quotations. Now ID1 I will give 1 2 3, again give a space and then give the second ID 3 4 5. So your ID1 is 1 2 3, ID2 is 3 4 5. So this is the output and this is the program. I'll just so this way we can use scanf, and same program, like if you want in separate lines, you can give enter ID1, then you can scan. If you want to scan one by one and print one by one, just scan the first ID first, then you can again give the message like enter ID 2, scan the enter ID, second ID, and print ID in 2 in 7. So your ID 2, ID 2 will be printed. ID 1 is this. ID 1 will be printed. So here it will print ID2, here ID1. And to start in a new line, /n. Whenever we write /n, it moves the cursor to new line and then it will start printing. And after, if you write after printing, it will move the cursor. Whenever it is executed, this moves the cursor immediately to next line. So your ID2 is ID2 value. Your ID1 is ID1 value. Here scanning ID1, here scanning ID2. So if I compile and then run, welcome, enter ID1. So 1, 2, 3. Enter your ID1 is 1, 2, 3. And because this is starting /n, we did not use starting in same line. ID2. So your ID2 is 4, 5, 6. So here you can start in a new line. So ID1, 1, 2, 3 I'm giving. ID2, 8, 9. So this is the output. So this is example 3, 4. So we have seen the basic program and description. Then what is printf and scanf. So printf, how it prints, and scanf, how it takes the user input. Then we have seen 4 examples. So first one, just printing 2 messages in separate lines. Second example, it is taking the user input for ID variable and printing ID. And then third example is it is taking 2 user input values, that is for ID1 and ID2 variable, and printing both ID1 and ID2 in same line, scanning at a time 2 values and printing at a time 2 values. And then scanning differently both the values, printing also differently both the values. So 4 examples. So for today, I will end here. In the next class, we will revise the same and also see some more practical examples. Like, so any doubts for today's class? Anybody? So anybody is having any doubt? Okay, so for today, I'm ending here. Next, we will have on Monday. Okay, so you can refer the videos and ask me doubts if you have any on Monday also. Okay, so I'm ending for today. Nobody has doubts, right?
Yes, no doubts.
Okay, thanks.
And
And thanks for,
now,
yeah, tell me.
the next class will be on Monday, right?
Monday,
Same
Monday.
time. Okay.
Yes.
No.
Okay, then. Okay, thank you for attending.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Bye.
after you, yeah, tell me. Shreya, tell me.
No, no, I was not
Okay,
saying
bye.
anything. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Bye. So, yeah, Nipun, any like arrays and pointers and books and all during course, I will be telling you all these things. So, arrays, pointers, we will be covering. We have those topics in the syllabus. And books also, or websites, books, and all, I will give you links, whatever you want. No, I will be sending you this documents. When you join the course, you will be getting all these documents day wise. So all the code, all the programs I will be sending you every day. You can just copy paste and check, and also you can do changes and practice. Okay. Okay, then for today I'm ending. You can, if any doubts, you can ask me on Monday also. Okay, then bye. Thank you for attending.